Okay, Andy, you've been in Asia a week or so now. Shanghai's been a happy hunting ground for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed it here. When I first came for the Masters Cup, it was, they put on a great event there, and then obviously now, it's the Masters Series. I mean, I played well here. I like the conditions, and they put on what has been voted, I think, the last couple of years the best Masters Series on the tour. So yeah, it's obviously a fun tournament for the players, and I've always played well here.
Obviously disappointing not to defend your title in Japan. You've had time to go over what happened last week and things you can improve on this week?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good tournament for me. I needed to get some matches in. Obviously, it was quite hectic after the US Open, and I thought I actually played pretty well for the most part last week, and I was up a break in the third set and had a couple of match points on his serve. So yeah, I mean, a few things I'd like to do a bit better, but it's completely different conditions here. The court's slower and the balls are much faster. Last week it was a fast court with very slow balls, so it might take a while to get used to that.
The last time I spoke to you, you just won Olympic gold. Now I'm speaking to you, you're a Grand Slam champion. Just tell us what it was like, the emotions when you achieved that sort of dream.
Yeah, it was strange. I mean, after the Olympics, I was obviously very excited, and I was extremely happy and stuff, and I celebrated with with all my friends and family and stuff, and it was cool. And then after the US Open, I think I was just really surprised and a bit shocked. It took number of days before it really sort of sunk in. I couldn't sleep, but I wasn't like bouncing off the walls with excitement. I was just kind of lying in my bed, like I didn't know quite what had happened. So it was hard, quite hard to explain. But that's kind of how the emotions go with playing at the highest level of sports. I had Wimbledon, where I was obviously incredibly disappointed. The Olympics, I was over the moon with excitement, and then after the US Open, I was just kind of like completely neutral. But I couldn't sleep, so it was a very weird few months for me.
A lot of people described it as getting a monkey off your back and a sort of massive feeling of relief. Is that how it felt for you to win a Grand Slam?
Yeah, I think once I got back on the court, practice and stuff was a lot easier. It was a lot more fun. I just felt there was a bit less pressure on myself to perform well in every single match I played in every single tournament. I always felt like I was maybe trying to prove something, so I'm glad I finally managed to win the US Open, and I'll try and keep improving.
Okay, important to finish well. I know you're trying to play down the significance of finishing #1, but it is important to finish the season well and maybe go for that #1 spot.
Yeah, realistically, I think it's almost impossible to finish #1. I don't know why. I keep getting asked about it. I'm about 3,000 points behind Novak, which is the equivalent of winning here, winning Paris, and winning in London, and him losing in the first round of every tournament, which isn't going to happen. So the #1 ranking is not something I'm focusing on just now. I want to try and finish the year as best as possible, and hopefully give myself a chance to do that next year if I can, but it's going to be very, very difficult.